Hey trainers, welcome back to Pokemon Deck Check. I would be Pokemon.
I'm that dancing bear dude.
And today on Pokemon TCG Unified Minds deck profile, Ultra Necrozma.
Very good deck.
Real quick, if you're interested in some merch, we got hoodies, shirts. I'll leave the link in the description below. And here we go.
Oh. 4 NK. 4 Mr. Malamar. 3 Jirach. 2 Ultra. 1 Mewtwo. 1 Ultra Necrozma. 1 Garatina.
Oh, one Dawnwings.
Dawnwings. 1 Mew.
So, everything's pretty much streamlined. I guess the biggest issue that people are always having is 2 Jirachi or 3. I like having the third. What do you think, Dancing Bear?
Third's really good to start with. And if you only have 1 Ultra Necrozma in play at the time, then you can put up Jirachi with a escape board, find another one, put it down on the bench, power it up with some Psychic Recharge and a Metal Energy, then you're ready to go.
The Mew's really good against Zekrom being able to snipe something on the bench, with the GX attack for 200. So, and he's easy to search, with the
Mysterious Treasure and Pokemon Communications.
So I think where most people go back and forth on is either the second Garatina or the third Jirachi. And with the way my luck is, I always end up starting Garatina when I have 2. So I guess I would rather the Garatina be prized than to start Garatina. Because I always feel like whenever I start him, I get a perfect setup, and I just don't have a switching card to move him out and take the knockout with Necrozma.
He's also good for Frostless.
So, yeah, he's good against that. And other things. He's good. He brings a lot of value to the table. But I think that's the biggest debate on whether the third Jirachi or the second Garatina. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everything else is pretty much straightforward. So, not too much to talk about there with the Pokies. I have a feeling there's not too much to talk about with the items, but there may be a few
Pretty
things.
consistent. 4 Mysterious Treasure. 4 Custom Catchers. 3 Acrobike. 3 Switch. 2 Pokemon Communications. 2 Reset Stamp. 2 Escape Board. Then finally 2 Cherish Balls.
And I think this is pretty much standard for a custom catcher list. It's going back and forth whether to play custom catcher in the Malamar deck or not. I've seen some lists that run a Dedenne, and in those Dedenne builds, they don't usually run custom catcher. So keep that in mind. We don't have Dedenne, and so we're running the custom catcher build. I feel like everything else is pretty much straightforward. I think if you weren't going to run custom catcher, then there's your 4th Acrobike, possibly 4th Switch, and then Dedenne, and then a Cherish Ball.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what you would do if you opted to not run the custom catcher.
Or 2 Dedennes, Acrobike,
And
Cherish Ball.
with beefing this up to 4, you may not need the Dawnwings too. So keep that in mind. So,
Cards to play around with.
yeah, I think it just comes down to play style. Do you like custom catcher or not? And this is built with custom catcher and the Jirachi to grab custom catchers. So,
And you got Acrobikes to help search out custom catchers. So I like the custom catcher build.
I do. I just think it's an argument that, or something people are kind of going back and forth on, which is the best way.
4 Lilies and just 4 Cynthias.
Perfect. You could possibly play Hapu in this deck, but if you were going to do that, then I would beef up I think I would completely retool the deck around Hapu and go from like 2 Ultra Necrozmas to maybe 3 and then 2 Mewtwo. Some sort of a package like that. That way you can really key in on Mewtwo a little bit more that way. So I think that's something to think about. But as it is right now, we've opted for the streamlined consistency.
Yep. I wish there was more cool supporters.
We're just we're kind of in an off spot right now. Just 2 Viridian Forest. Look for Zekrom decks that'll be super popular playing Viridian Forest, so you can kind of mooch off of them. I feel like there's not really anything else I want to run in the deck other than Viridian Forest to grab the metal energy whenever I need it.
Mm-hmm.
So there probably could be an argument for a third. But I don't think we've ever had an issue with grabbing a metal energy when we need it, right?
It's also super good just to get rid of a psychic energy or
Yeah.
a card from hand, a lily for more.
So
7 psychic, and then 3 metal, and 1 beast energy.
that's the winning recipe from all the lists. There's no reason to change that. Not much to say there. Nothing new. And where do I think the deck is? I think it's really good. I think it has really good matchups, and I think it has some really not good matchups. If Zekrom's popular, then I really like this. I really like this going against the Zekrom.
Just easy 3 psychic energies and metal, and you're hitting that 1-hit KO.
Yeah, so
3 prize.
I really, really like it. And I like having the Mewtwo against the Zekrom because Zekrom can't really one-shot it.
Oh, no.
It would take so many Electro Powers to do it. So, and it would have to be on the bench to do the GX attack, right?
I don't think it can.
Or no, the GX attack does 200 to the active, so.
It can knock out if it does the GX attack and 3 Electro Powers.
Yeah. So, I really, really like this. If you're thinking that you're going to be seeing a ton of Zekrom, which you are, it's going to be the most popular deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely like this. And I know the question we're going to get is Ultra Necrozma, Garatina Garchomp, or the single prize kind of spread Malamar deck. And right now, I think I've played the 3 more than the Dancing Bear.
Yeah.
In this situation, and I can honestly say 100%. I feel like Ultra Necrozma is more powerful than the other 2.
I for sure like it better than the Garchomp. I think it's a lot more. Capable.
I like both the. I like this version and the single prize version better than the Garchomp. So I would put this like first, single prize second, and then the Garchomp third. Now,
I agree with that list.
What I really like about the single prize Malamar decks is I think they have better matchups across the board. But I think it's this is Zekrom's matchup. I really, really like that favorable. I really do.
Good.
I think that's my biggest draw to play this deck is the Zekrom matchup. I don't necessarily hate the single prize matchup against Zekrom, but I just feel like this gives you the ultimate chance to win. And if there's rumors going around that the Raichu will be making its way in for paralysis, being able to retreat with Zeraora and then go back into it with a switching card to streamline that paralysis attack, you're going to need the Dawn Wings. So I would actually think about maybe possibly beefing that to 2. So,
or you can up the switches to 4.
Yeah, well, we already have 3 switches plus a skateboard plus a Dawn Wing. So, I mean, If I start getting that sinking feeling, like there may be some Raichu tag teams going on, I would look at either adding the fourth switch or the second Donwings. In that case, I think I would cut the third Jirachi and opt for something like that.
I'm not too big of a fan of paralysis decks in this format. I think because of the high switch, there's a skateboard that allows you to retreat out of paralysis and cuts down one of the retreat cost. And I think the biggest problem is the fact just put up a little wall and set up this huge attacker on the bench. Then you put it up, you get the KO, then they KO you back. And that's 3 prizes for 3. And then you put up yours, and then you can finally take the last 3 prizes.
I also like this against the stall decks.
Oh, yes.
Especially if you get that Garatina online, you can just streamline the 130, 130, 130. That's going to put a lot of pressure on your generic stall decks, Shedinja decks.
You have to hit yourself for 40 damage, so.
And that's another reason to beef up the switching if need be. So, and there's room. That's the perfect thing. There is room to add the text for the matchups you feel like you might need to shore up a little bit, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I think it's good. I think it's the best of the 3 Malamar decks. So, if you're feeling like you're going to go to a tournament and there's going to be a ton of Zekrom, highly recommend it, right?
I agree.
All right, well, that's it for now. So, till next time, be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes.